they're shuffling up their decks. Oh, they're already started. So we see Dominique Wuyts opening. I think he's playing Delver. There is a Delver on the battlefield, so I don't know what for dress he's playing.
Yeah, with the basics.
A book rug variant or something, blue-red variant. No, I see a Jace. Oh, it's the Stoneblade variant. Yeah, on top it's UV control. Okay, but it's all the same. It can be UV control from the moment there are some the creatures, forgot the name, the 1/2s. You can search for the artifacts. Stoneforge Mystics inside. It's rather called Stoneblade than UV. That's UV Stoneblade Delver on top. Alright. So now we're pretty sure. Yep. So on the right side we see the Mono Red Stompy, Dragon Stompy, Moon Stompy. I don't know what other names the deck has. It has a lot of them. It tries to generate fast mana. It plays Ancient Tomb, City of Creators, and it tries to lock his opponent. He does that with Chalice of the Void. He does it with Blood Moon. He does it with Trini Sphere. Yes. Then he tries to put in some creatures, Goblin Rebel Master or the Legion War Boss in this case, or the Planeswalkers Chandra, of course. Chandra is a very good Planeswalker. We see one in the graveyard already. It got forced by Dominique. It has some neat abilities. Oh, you have another one. So we already see the Blood Moon in play. Comes into play with some loyalty counters. I believe it will be 4. And for -3 you can shoot 4 damage to a creature. For +1 you can add 2 red mana to your mana pool. For +1 it's another ability, they're both +1 at that moment. You can exile the top card of your library. You can decide to cast it. If you don't cast it, it does 2 damage to target opponent. Not to a target. 2 damage to each opponent. Yeah. And then it is an ultimate 7 loyalty, but when you can ultimate it, you get an emblem. It says whenever you cast a red spell, it deals 5 damage to an opponent or a creature. Not sure if it can target creatures with it, but it does something like that. It tries to generate some fast mana, as I said, with Ancient Tomb, City of Traitors. So there you have it, Chandra already, but as well with Chromox that we see on the battlefield. It's one of the legal Moxes in the Legacy format. You have Chromox, Mox Opal is legal, Mox Ember is legal as well, but we didn't see any play of the recently printed Mox from Dominaria. It still didn't found any deck that plays it. I think maybe it sees some play in the Enchantress deck, but it's not a very intensively played deck, the Enchantress deck. But as well, we have the Simian Spirit Guides to generate some extra fast mana. But the main idea is to kill you with Chandra or the Rebel Master or the Legion War Boss. Besides that, they have in their deck the Fiery Confluence. It's a very neat card for 2 red and 2 colorless mana. You can choose some different modes, 3 pieces. I think it does 1 damage to each creature, 2 damage to an opponent, and destroys an artifact. It's RRR, and you can choose 3 modes, but you can choose the same mode once, 2 or 3 times. So multiple times, indeed. So on the other side, we already saw Dominique Wuyts trying to
develop,
build up some board state with Delver in the early beginnings. Afterwards, we saw Stoneforge coming in. That's a Trini Sphere. And Michael Wouters decided, I want to cast this one. Trini Sphere is an artifact, costs 3 mana. When it's in play, every spell that's played costs 3 mana at least. So it means if you want to cast a Stoneforge, it costs 1 mana more. If you want to play Snapcaster, it costs 1 mana more. Everything is at least 3 mana from that moment. It only works when it's untapped. It's not relevant in the deck, I don't believe. You can tap as artifacts or something, but it needs to be untapped for it. So Snapcaster is going directly to Chandra. By Dominique we see, I'm not 100% sure. Brainstorm, Spell Pierce, stays. It's my guess. Yeah, that's those 3 cards that I see.
Magus of the Moon.
Yep, that's as well one of the creatures. It's a Blood Moon on feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's the same mana cost as Blood Moon. It does the same as Blood Moon, but it's as well a 2/2 creature.
Yeah.
It's hard to say what's the best card, actually. Yeah? If you see it by the card, you say Magus of the Moon is better because it has the same lock and you can kill your opponent with it. But it's a lot easier to remove from the game, indeed. So an enchantment, once it hits the battlefield, a lot of decks have a lot of problems to remove an enchantment main deck. Yeah, there are a lot of sideboard cards, disenchant and stuff for white that can come in. The green-black decks, of course, they have Abrupt Decay. They have the very neat new card, the Assassin's Trophy. That's also a possibility to remove it, but it's not that easy.
So a Brainstorm for 3 mana.
So now you see. I thought we saw Forceful in a sense as well now.
That's not possible because of Trini Spear. Oh, he has to pay 1 extra.
So something went wrong there. I believe he tapped out 3 mana to cast Brainstorm, but then he only tapped 2 mana to cast Stoneforge Mystic.
Yeah.
So that's very incorrect, but both players should see that there is a Trinisphere on the battlefield. Not sure what's happening at this moment. Maybe they're there is the decision that we can't interfere with the matches. We're not in the same room, so if we need to go out and stop the match, maybe they're 2 to 3 turns further already. So it's very hard for us to interfere with these matches, and there is a decision that we don't do that. Okay. Of course, this could be of a big problem for Michael Wouters, of course.
Yeah. Because Dominique went searching for the Better Skull.
For the Better Skull, yeah. But still, Michael Wouters has some very good outs in his deck. I just was thinking for an Ensnaring Bridge that could be good at this moment. But he's not playing them anymore main deck. The deck is exactly the same like it was like 3 months ago something, but they decided to cut the Ensnaring Bridges to bring in the Legion War bosses.
Okay.
Yeah, so the extra fast creatures that come in at this moment. So then for the sideboarding, for Dominique, strongly believe he has some disenchants in a sideboard. That would be a very good idea to bring them in. Maybe some Vendilion Cliques or something that come in. That could be neat for him. For Michael Wouters, I'm not pretty sure what the sideboard. We don't have the lists again.
No.
We're failing one man today, so it's hard to organize everything this way. So we see some surgical extractions, containment priests, supreme verdict, eaters one canonists. They're all not good actually.
No. No.
So but Dominique found 3 cards that he wants to board out already, I think. So he's going for surgical extraction.
I think those 3 are coming in.
Maybe he was deciding to board in some other cards. Yeah, these are the disenchants probably. Yeah? We saw that there were 3 white cards. I'm not sure which cards. But what do you board out? Because the forces are very good. Spell piercers is very good. Snapcaster, maybe Days. Especially now because you're on the draw. Then Days is probably the worst card in the deck.
Yeah.
Maybe
and
if you're
also
on play,
Michael is playing with Spirit Guide, so if you want something on the table, and Dominique Dazes, he has a Spirit Guide to pay you 1 extra mana for it.
If he has it in hand, of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So maybe just against the mono red deck, Dazes is just not good enough. Not depending if you're on the play or on the draw. Maybe it's just all the way not good enough.
Not good enough. Especially
when you're on a play, you play like say Tundra or an island at that moment. It doesn't really matter. And Michael Wouters can lead out with Ancient Tomb, Mox, pitch a red card, play Blood Moon, and then you Daze at that moment, or Trinisphere, Trinisphere, and then you Daze, and then you can pitch him in Spirit Guide for the extra red mana, and then it takes a lot of time when you can assemble. It's close like an extra time walk for Michael Wouters at that moment. If he then can follow up with one of the goblins at that moment, he can beat Dominique Wuyts
pretty fast.
Like in a 3 to 2/4 turn clock or something at that moment. So both players have shuffled up their decks. They're drawing new hands. They're both looking at their 7. Dominique Wuyts deciding to mulligan. I believe he only had the Wasteland in hand and no other lands. The hand wasn't that bad at all. He had the Forceful. That's what you want, especially when you're on the draw. He had the Forceful. He had an extra blue card, but only 1 Wasteland in hand. That's very bad to start with. Then you need the blue land from the top. So from Michael Wouters, we didn't see any card. He kept them pretty good protected. So, Ivo, until now we didn't see any Storm players. No. We didn't see Tess. Why do you think there are
no? In the booth.
Yeah, indeed.
I had a quick look at the metagame, and I think there were 1 or 2 Storm players of 47. So,
and they're playing End of Tess. No, they're playing the Ad Nauseam Tendrils. So, but then they're not doing well at this moment, I believe. No.
If you count High Tide as a Storm, there are 2 High Tide players in the
2 pieces.
2 pieces of High Tide.
Lars Bone is probably one of them, and then another one. So actually, there are 4 players playing Storm at this moment. But until now, there is no need to take a raincoat. We didn't see any Storm today.
No. At least not inside. I think outside it's raining. So
this is very neat. I'm not sure, but is it as Michael Wouters a mountain that is altered with B.A. Baracus on it?
Yes.
Oh my god.
I made it for him because today it's his birthday. So we have a birthday boy on stream.
Okay.
Oh, you didn't assemble the complete A team. Only BA Brackets.
Not
Okay.
yet.
In 3 years.
So if I'm correct, Dominique Wuyts stumbled on his land,
Yeah, failed.
failed a land drop, and there is a chalice of 1 on the other side.
Yeah.
So if he doesn't find another land,
And a Trinisphere.
and Trinisphere resolves, this could be a very big problem for Dominique Wuyts. Everything costs 3 mana, and everything with convert mana cost 1 gets countered by chalice. But still, Michael needs to find a threat somewhere, because he's taking a lot of damage from his ancient tombs. Yeah, now he's at 10 at this moment. If Delver flips on the other side, it can go very quickly. Probably now we will see a Legion. There you have the Goblin Rebel Master.
That's a Rebel Master.
I wanted to say a Legion Warriors of the Goblin Rebel Master. So a Rebel Master, turn 1, it makes 1 Goblin. It gets haste, and all goblins that can attack, all other goblins that can attack need to attack. So it hits for 1. The second turn, the Rebel Master can attack himself as well. It's a 2/2 creature. It gets +1/+0 for every other goblin that is attacking at that moment. So the first turn you can hit for 1. The second turn you hits for 6 already. Then you hit for 8, and you hit for 10.
Yeah.
All together, if there are no blocks. So actually it's like a 4-turn clock normally. From the moment you play it, you have 3 turns after that, and then the game is over. So maybe it's just enough at this moment.
Now the Delver didn't flip, and Dominique is on 3 mana. He has to play a 2 or 3 mana cost cantrip or something. So, not sure. Is that a true name? Nemesis? Yeah.
Yep. True name Nemesis.
Yeah.
And now it looks very bad for Michael Wouters at this moment.
Yeah.
He needs to find a solution to clear the board again.
Yeah.
At this moment. So if the Delver flips, Dominique has a 2-turn clock. And that's way better than
depending that
Michael Wouters has.
that Michael Wouters doesn't activate his ancient tomb.
Otherwise it's still a 2-turn clock, but okay, yeah.
If he activates it only once.
So Michael is deciding. He found another mountain at least. But what can he do with it? 2 mana, pitch him in Spirit Guide. And this is the other one, this is the Legion Warboss, I said. It costs exactly the same as the Rebel Master. It makes a Goblin token as well. And it has Mentor. Mentor is an ability. If the Legion Warboss attacks, you can put a +1/+1 counter on a creature that has less power than a Legion Warboss has. So on a 1/1 creature you can put a counter on it at that moment. So maybe this is good enough to win the race. So he's blocking 1, taking 2. He goes to 14. Still, I'm not sure if it is enough. Next turn he creates 2 extra goblins.
No flip from the...
That's what the Delver does.
Yeah.
So this, now it could be good enough for Michael Wouters, the clock that he has. So Stoneforge. So next turn, Michael Wouters could hit for 13 if there are no blockers. I strongly believe there will be. Okay, and Dominique is taking the cheetah out of his deck. So next turn he can play it and attach it. Then start to gain some extra life.
I think he's counting if he can attack with the true name Nemesis or not. How many damage am I taking next turn?
So he can't play any other spells because of the Trinity Sphere, because of the Chalice. Actually, because of the Trinity Sphere, because Chalice it doesn't prevent you of playing the spell. You can play the spell, it just gets countered.
Yeah.
So, but what's Michael Wouters deciding at this moment? Because we know he can create 2 extra tokens in the combat phase. The tokens need to attack, and Legion Warboss needs to attack due to the Goblin Rebel Master next to it.
Yeah.
Okay, so he goes to combat phase and he swings with everything. No, only with the Warboss. The Mentor triggers, the Mentor ability triggers, and this hits for 7.
So he can block a token with Stoneforge and the...
he can block the Legion Warboss with this True Name Nemesis. He can block a token, so with the Stoneforge. So then he's only taking 4 damage, then he goes to 10. Oh, he decided to not block any token?
No.
With the Stoneforge.
Apparently.
Seems odd to me, but okay, yeah.
Me too.
There you have it, Force of Will. It's not that good anymore at this moment. It's a Force of Will that you have to pay 5 mana for, or you need to pay 3 mana, pitch a card and pay a life. So it's not the best card at this moment, but he wants to play Activate Stoneforge, activate, and now probably he is attacking. He can attack for 6, take 4 life, then he's at 13.
And he can shoot down the Rebel Master.
Yeah, indeed. Then you can take out the Rebel Master.
Yeah.
And then that could be good enough. Not 100% sure if this is the best idea, because it gives an opening to Michael Wouters to win. If he just takes the damage, yes, and he finds Fiery Confluence, it's all over. Because Dominique Wuyts can't counter anymore. And the Fiery Confluence is 6 damage to the opponent, and he can hit easily 3. And the Delver dies.
That's the
So he's taking now 3 damage from the true name.
Yeah, going to 5.
Going to 5 indeed. And Michael Wouters can hit for 10, 11, 12, for 13. So only removing the counters for gaining life is not good enough. Therefore he just destroys the Rebel Masters as fast as possible. But he can hit for 5, then Dominique is at 4. If he has a Fiery Confluence on hand, Michael Wouters wins at this moment. I'm pretty sure he has no Fiery Confluence on hand, otherwise we would have seen it already, I think. I'm not sure what he has done at this moment. But still he can survive an extra turn. if he attacks.
Yeah. Not sure what Michael is holding in his hand. Why he's thinking that long.
The problem is he can't cast anything because of the Ancient Tomb. Because if he taps Ancient Tomb, it's lethal, so it has to be a Fiery Confluence. So he wins this turn.
Yeah.
If he doesn't win this turn, it's all over.
Attacking. So 4 damage, going to 5.
Okay. It's 5 damage, so he goes to 4, not to 5. These are 3 1/1 goblins and 1 2/2 goblins, so he's at 4 at this moment. So Michael Wouters decided to end this game. He conceded against Dominique. As I said, I think the only possibility was the Fiery Confluence, and that otherwise he would be dead already. He couldn't activate his Ancient Tomb. We saw in the Ascent as well, he had Chandra. That just was not good enough because Dominique still was on 4. If he was just on 2, it was good enough. But that wasn't the case. So maybe we have a backup match at this moment. Do we have a backup match? We're still on the same match.
Yeah, there it is.
There you have it. If I'm correct, we see again Ruben's mates on the left side, and on the right side we see Ilya Perikov. He's playing the Sneaky Show deck, and on the left side we see the deck that we saw often today from the same player. You see Dead on Texas. Not sure what's happening at this moment. We see the blue creature. That's a show and tell on feeds there or something. It says for 3 mana it's a creature, and then you can put 3 mana in it. You can tap it. It's one from the new sets, and then you may cast an instant or something from your hand without.
No, a creature.
Or a creature?
You have to draw a card, discard a creature or something. It's like discard a creature and you can put a creature into play. I think it's something like that, but I don't know its name.
I don't know the name. Yeah, it can be. Probably it's a wizard or something. Yeah. And Ruben is trying to pot to exile it.
I'm getting some information from the table, and the Topter is a Griselbrand.
The Topter is a Griselbrand.
Yeah.
Nice.
The Topter token is a Griselbrand. And the blue creature is an Arcane Artisan.
So, and why is a Topter token a Griselbrand? How does that work?
It comes from the Arcane Artisan.
Ah, you can discard the creature and then you can make a copy of it. Or something, yeah?
It says for 2 and a blue, tap target player draws a card, then exiles a card from their hand. If a creature card is exiled this way, that player creates a token that's a copy of that card.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. So, therefore, the top tier is the Griselbrand.
Then the second, when Arcane Artisan leaves the battlefield.
Now we see it on the screen as well.
Yeah, exile all tokens created with the at the beginning of the next end step.
So Ilya's now looking for a kill in the next round. Then I believe is it 9. There is a Sanctum Prelate on 4 on the other side.
Yeah.
Oh, we were in the end step of Ruben at this moment. So it's not possible to cast Sneak Attack at this moment. There is a Talia, that means everything casts 1 more if it's not a creature. And then the other Talia, it says that non-basic lands and creatures, so it means that this land comes into play tapped and not untapped. So there you have it. He's trying Show and Tell again. Ruben is deciding which card he will bring in. Omniscience. Then this game still could go to Ilya at this moment. If he has an Emrakul, he can play it without paying its mana cost. Then he can take an extra turn, then he can attack with it. And we see he has an Intuition in hand, so he can play Intuition normally. Then search for 3 Emrakuls out of his deck and put it into play. It comes into play tapped, but that's irrelevant at this moment because you take an extra turn, then everything untaps.
There's the Arcane Artisan.
It enters tapped indeed, yeah.
Not sure why he's paying 1 mana.
But he still has 1 floating at this moment. Yeah, he tapped 2 out of city, then he brought another city in. That should come into play tapped normally, yeah. So it wouldn't do anything. But as said before, we're not interrupting in the games. So what Ilya is still deciding what he's going to do. It looks pretty clear to me if he just played the Intuition, or doesn't he has 3 Emrakuls in his deck? I think they have.
Should be.
Aren't they playing like 3 Emrakuls and 3 Griselbrands or something? I don't really know the sneaking.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know as well.
So he's playing Omniscience
So
and Sneak.
I strongly believe it's not true. Otherwise this should have been an easy so 1 preordain. That's correct, huh? At this moment.
I'm not sure why
So
he's
why
paying mana.
is he then?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
he has
but
Omniscience.
he has Omniscience, so you need to pay 1 extra. So why did he tap 2?
Yeah.
If I counted correctly, now he has a blue and still a colorless floater or something. And now the creature goes away. The creature come back. There you have it. Emrakul. That comes into play tapped, not untapped. But still the cast trigger resolves, so you take an extra turn, you can untap everything, you can attack Annihilator 6, and Ruben's mates knows that that would be a very big problem for him, so he decides to scoop it up. It looks like they're going to play an extra game. They're already playing for 38 minutes at this moment, so I strongly believe that it would be 1-1 at this moment then.
That's confirmed from somebody at the table. It's 1-1. And also they have 2 extra minutes. They had a judge call, so they have 2 extra minutes. But I think this kind of matchup, it won't matter.
As said, I'm not confident playing with the Sneaky Show Omniscience deck. I have no idea how good the matchup is versus Dead on Taxes. It looks like with Omniscience it's okay, but if you do it with Show and Tell, it's not that good, because Ruben has like Caracas in his deck to bounce.
Yeah, I think Ruben has a lot of answers for many situations in the show. But Ilya also plays a version, you know, he puts himself together. I think he played like 12 cantrips or something. Now he has the artisans. I don't know how much of every. I have really no idea how his build looks. So it's not a standard Sneak and Show build.
But both players are on table 1 at this moment, I believe.
Yep.
So they're both 4-0 then, because it's round 5.
I think.
Is this round 5? Yes, it's incorrect on the top. Yeah, it's incorrect. On the top it's round 4, but it should be round 5.
This is table 3, so they're.
This is table 3.
Yeah, this is table 3. The first table with Bob Borges, who was the burn player, ID'd.
Okay.
He already ID'd. So this is.
So both players have lost. Maybe we saw Ruben's mates losing on stream 1 round. I'm not sure anymore. So, first turn, Artisan. You better find a solution, Ruben. And has he any creatures in hand? I sneak attack, show and tell on 3 lands, so no creatures in hand. Containment Priest.
That's a pretty good answer.
That's not an answer. That's the reason why they play the Artisan, because Containment Priest says whenever a non-token creature comes into play, you should exile it. With the Artisan it makes tokens. So it's not good enough against the Artisan. If Ilya finds a creature at this moment, it looks very good for him. Okay, his Ancient Tombs got wasted, but he still... Oh, he responds?
Yeah, he...
Yeah, of course you can still draw a land and then discard anything what you want. Okay, he's discarding the sneak attack. Yep, another Containment Priest. Now you're pretty sure that Show and Tell won't do anything anymore, or sneak attack.
He does not attack with one of his priests?
It looks like he's not attacking, indeed.
Okay.
I think the Artisan is bigger than the...
The Artisan was tapped.
It was tapped, yeah.
So now Ilya's deciding it. I think he drew another. City.
City of Traitors.
So he just wants to drop down City of Traitors to activate the Artisan again, to find the creature just as fast as possible. It looks like it's a very strong creature, actually.
Yeah.
If you can hit the big creatures with it, it's pretty good.
some good tech. It's always on the sideboard. I think Ilya talks told me he played one main and one on side. So
Okay.
if I can remember correctly, but I played a month ago against Ilya.
So, and again, this is the big Thalia. That means that non-basics and creatures come into play tapped.
Now you could can attack. Yeah, there it is.
Yep, they swing in for 4.
Tapping, show and tell.
Show and tell. He found
Omniscience.
Omniscience. So that comes in. Then it is possible for Ilya to close this game very quickly. Up, he has Emrakul. That means it is.
Comes into play.
Yeah, but he takes an extra turn, so it's once again very irrelevant. That enters the battlefield tapped, and Ruben's mate shakes